ownership.
Good morning, Santa Clarita. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. It's good to have you. Thanks for joining us. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. This is SCVI Charter Schools Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson, your host. Welcome again. If you are joining us on Facebook Live, how you doing? Good to see you, good to be seen by you. While our campuses, our school campuses are closed, and it's going to be long-term now, our students are at home, they're working with you, and hopefully your schools are supporting you, got your back. But KHTS, in collaboration with SCVI and iLEAD Charter Schools, is bringing you this special edition of Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. We're here to support the work that you're doing, to be here for you, to work with your kids, maintain that growth and learning. We're here to help you out, making you the best you that you can be so that you can step up and take care of the rest of yours around the home there. We come to you live each day at 9 a.m., providing support and updates for you in this long-distance learning journey. We are also continually curating and adding new resources to our website, homeschoolinganswers.com. Head on over there. It's Friday. Your kids may be done with the weekly assignments, but we're not done with the week. So head on over to Homeschooling Answers. There's all kinds of exciting activities and different curricular connections and projects that you can find there. You click on your child's grade level or age level. You can click on a particular subject. If you want to go with science today, click on science. You know, we had Amber Soto in the studio. Well, actually, she called in. I'm by myself besides our engineers here in the studio. But Amber Soto called in earlier this week, and she talked about the different things, the videos that she's debuting on our website. And she's been posting some really cool things, some neat interactive stuff that's fun and gets your kids really thinking about practical applications of math. And so she's posting a video each day. Head on over to homeschoolinganswers.com and check it out. I think your kids will find it engaging and fun. So today we've got a short show. It's a Friday show. We've only got 1 hour, and then I believe Phil Nordella and Rick Garcia are coming in. We've got two great guests during this 1 hour, though. So we're going to be super busy. I'm really excited. We've got Janine Prado, the Director of Recreation and Community Services for our city, followed by Malaka Donovan, Director of Empower Generations. That's iLEAD's Center for Pregnant and Parenting Teens. Two ladies doing some very inspiring work in our communities. We're so grateful to have them where they are. So grateful to have them coming in, joining us over the phone this morning. So let's get right to it. Our first guest today, as I said, is Director of Santa Clarita Recreation and Community Services. Janine Prado was first hired as an administrator for the department in 2006. She later moved up to manager in 2016. And during her 13 years in recreation and community services, Prado has spearheaded campaigns such as the Drug-Free Youth in Santa Clarita Valley and anti-drug education and awareness program for local teens, and also Heroin Kills, The High is a Life, a campaign highlighting the consequences of the drug. Both have received the League of California Cities Helen Putnam Award. So congratulations to that. She also played a vital role in bringing the city's first sensory-friendly holiday event in 2018 to accommodate local children with special needs. She worked in the design and programming of the new Canyon Country Community Center that we're so grateful for. Before working for our city, she worked for the Commission for Children, Youth, and Their Families for the City of Los Angeles. She received her bachelor's degree in child development and her MPA from California State University of Northridge. She is a fellow Matador. Janine, welcome in. So good to have you.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about your job when we're not in quarantine and monitoring the status of our parks, which we'll get to in a little bit. What is it that you do as the Director of Recreation and Community Services?
Well, what I do is I provide recreational, enrichment, and educational opportunities for the community. And I do that through a variety of ports. And that would be, I oversee what are the youth and adult sports programming, the contract classes you have in your seasons brochure. I also oversee the Newhall and Canyon Country Community Centers, which provide a variety of programming as far as after-school programming and classes. I also oversee the arts and events programming for the city. So the art around the city you see, some of those events like the Cowboy Festival, Extravaganza, the 4th of July event, those bigger events are mine. In addition to that, I also oversee the open space area. So that would be the trails around the city, our beautiful city that we have, that trails that you're able to publicly walk on in those areas. That's my area.
So you keep really busy because each one of those things, we've got a lot going on in Santa Clarita. You know, we're very blessed by how active our community is, and so you've got your hand in a lot of pots there. So what are some of the opportunities that the city has for its residents, you know, during usual times? If we weren't safer at home right now, what are some of the things that you and your staff would be working on when we weren't social distancing?
Well, part of it too is that we're always looking at creative programming we have in the city, adding new contract classes. We also too look at events that we can possibly have, and I think part of it now is you mentioned about sensory friendly. We really had recently had a plan to have a sensory friendly event. We had to postpone it, but those are some of the things we look at to enhance what we have existing, as well as, of course, maintaining our trails and making sure they're safe and clean for folks to walk on, and that signage is proper so that when people go out, they have a really, really great experience. So part of that is always looking at the programs we have and looking to enhance them, looking for new opportunities, and also collaborating sometimes with folks in the community as well.
So we've mentioned a couple times, I mentioned in the introduction, and you just mentioned the different sensory activities that we have for kids of special needs. And now we've got a sensory center at a lot of our campuses at iLEAD schools, but can you explain for our listeners that don't necessarily understand what we're talking about, what are the different sensory activities for, why are they designed, and how do they work?
Okay, so the basic one we had at Christmas time was where we had a sensory-friendly Santa event. And that is where kids that are not really used to loud noises or too many lights, we take it down a notch. Okay. Normally when Santa comes in, it's really loud and boisterous. When we have it for sensory-friendly, we take the lights down. It's a smaller group. Santa talks in a quieter voice. Activities are a little low-key. So that child that may be a little intimidated by some of those things has a chance to experience that same experience with Santa Claus in a less stimulating environment. So that's what it would look like.
So it's a little bit less overwhelming for kids that struggle to deal with those things. That's fantastic that you all are not just cognizant of all the different activities that you have for all of the residents of Santa Clarita, but also for the different needs of different populations. That is fantastic. Now, one more question about kind of the normal, and then we'll get into the adjustments that we've had to make. Before the safer at home restriction was implemented, was there something that you all were working on for residents? Any events or activities or new features that you were looking forward to debuting this spring?
Well, you know what I would say, maybe not so much this spring, but if I could say a little bit, I know that we recently opened the inclusive play structure at Canyon Country Park, and that area was, again, for families that had multiple abilities that can play together. So they could be sensory friendly, they can have, there's many activities. That was newly opened several months ago up at Canyon Country Park, and that was very exciting. That was one. The other one was we also have the archery range out at Haskell Canyon. It's been open for a while, but also, too, that was becoming very popular, looking to do more activities prior to this coming on, being, this COVID-19. But that also is an area we look to expand and kind of really work on it because it has definitely taken off and people are very interested. Another piece would be, as far as I wouldn't say something for spring, but we're constantly working on, is the new Canyon Country Community Center. Not the existing one, but the new building that's out there on Soledad. Very excited about that with design and looking at potential programming that'll be opening in 2021. So those are some of the things just kind of getting going. I wouldn't say much for spring, but larger picture items that to enhance some of the activities, a new facility opening, and also that new play structure that definitely has a significant impact and opportunities for our residents in the community.
You know, that new play structure is really innovative and incredibly thoughtful. I was really excited when I heard about it opening up. It's not something that's just for kids with special needs, but it's inclusive for everyone. You know, oftentimes our families have a child with special needs or inclusivity issues, and then another child or two that don't. And it's a great playground where all kids can come together and play. It's fantastic. So we're very, very grateful for that. Now, we touch bases with Mayor Smythe every week, and he updates us on the things that are open, the things that are not. We've been fortunate up here in Santa Clarita that we haven't had to be as locked down as maybe the LA area parks and trails and things like that. We've been able to keep some of the different activities open where we can still maintain our social distancing for our residents. So can you talk to us about any activities or new services or anything that we can look forward to now that that other things are on hold, but what kind of things are available for us to get out, to get active or participate in?
Well, definitely we have our paseos throughout the city. You're able to walk and abound, and we see a lot of people walking. Of course, practicing social distancing. Our parks have trails and things you can walk through, but also our beautiful open space. Of course, still, we're mindful that we have to practice social distancing. Is available to go out there and get some air and to be fresh and be outside. So I think that's one of the true benefits that we have right now as far as really being accessible and available and at various times. You can do it any time during the day.
Sure. And then are there any activities that folks can participate in? I know we're not having a whole lot of line dancing events or anything like that, but is there anything that's being city led, or is this all kind of autonomous play and exercise?
Yeah, I would say at this time we are as a staff exploring, my team is exploring the opportunities of doing some virtual things. We haven't gotten there yet. The idea would be that there are some things that various gyms around the city are offering as far as, you can do it online. We haven't gotten there yet. We are looking at those opportunities, a way of engaging our residents and things, but it's just one day at a time. With all the changes that happen, we're just trying to keep pace and get ourselves together to be able to hopefully present some of those opportunities down the road.
Yeah, I know it's difficult for you and your staff because the situation is changing from week to week and constantly monitoring just to keep the trails and parks open and making sure that people are accessing those in a safe way so that we don't have to make those adjustments. But you also know that folks in our city, we're used to engaging people. You and I had a conversation before we came on the air today about how important that social engagement is to so many in our community. So thank you so much for looking into that. We do appreciate it. It's our activity is really important. I want to encourage our listeners. It's a little bit more cloudy out this morning. The last couple of days were beautiful, but it's still going to be dry this weekend, so make sure that you do get out and take advantage of the beautiful parks and trails and the paseos that Janine mentioned. Janine, is there anything else that you can preview for us, anything that you want to share, something that you can encourage our community so that we can continue to stay active?
I would say definitely take use of an opportunity to be outside, but also know that, too, as a city, we are really looking at opportunities to hopefully come back stronger and better as we get through this period in time. But we do look at creative ways to connect now, so just stay tuned, and we'll see what's going to come forth in the near future.
Okay, fantastic. Janine, I want to thank you for everything that you do for our city. It's you know how active our city can be, and so in order for you to stay out in front of us, you've got to stay really busy, you and your staff. So thank you so much for stopping by today. We really appreciate it. And for you, our listeners, we do have to take a quick commercial break. I want you to join us when we come back, though. We're going to be talking with an important leader in our organization, that is iLEAD Schools. Malaka Donovan, director of iLEAD Center for Pregnant and Parenting Teens, is going to be joining us. That school is called Empower Generations. If you've never been out to Empower Generations, it's an incredibly inspiring place. I never walk away with a dry eye. It's just an incredible campus to be on. We're going to be talking to her about how her students are doing during this difficult time, so we want you to stay tuned. And for more information on how COVID-19 is affecting our valley, go to hometownstation.com and click on the red banner. There you're going to find tips on the economy, health updates, special business hours, and much, much more. You're listening to SCVI Charter Schools Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm your host, Matt Watson, on your hometown station, KHTS.
You see so much when you look at your child. A creative spirit that surprises you every day. Curiosity that develops into exploring unique passions. A little leader growing every day to discover who they are, what they love, and how they can make their mark on the world. At SCVI, we see those same amazing things. Our tuition-free K-12 charter school gives your child boundless opportunities to think critically and imagine freely, with a customized learning program built around each individual student. As iLEAD's founding school, SCVI combines an immersive approach to traditional subject learning with extracurricular activities, including STEAM, robotics, theater, music, and sports. SCVI has the only international baccalaureate program in Santa Clarita, with a 10-year proven track record of graduates excelling at top universities. And we're in your backyard, just off the 5 freeway in West Santa Clarita Valley in Castaic. For enrollment information or to learn more about our program, including homeschool options, visit iLeadSantaClarita.org. iLEAD Schools, free to think, inspired to lead.
As the stay-at-home order continues through the month of April, Burger King is committed to following state and federal safety guidelines when it comes to serving you, the customer. Although in-restaurant dining has closed, pickup and delivery service continues. The current hours are 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can mobile order through the BK app for pickup, or you can use any of the delivery services like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates. Burger King on Lyons at the 5 Freeway, now with service at 2 drive-through windows.
We'd like to thank our advertisers and readers for their loyal support since 1991.
Linda and Mo Hafizi, owners of our Valley's two leading magazines, iLEAD and the Magazine of Santa Clarita.
The only magazine in our valley mailed to 80,000 homes and businesses every month, with over 250 pages of community news and features.
Discover how the Magazine of Santa Clarita can help your business. Call 294-4444.
Superior quality is second nature to us. Just ask our advertisers.
The City of Santa Clarita is working closely with the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health to monitor the coronavirus COVID-19. On March 13th, the City of Santa Clarita issued a local emergency declaration in response to the coronavirus pandemic. Due to the stay-at-home order, the Santa Clarita events like Thursdays at New Hall and the Cowboy Festival have been put on hold for the safety of the community. For information, go to santa-clarita.com. For important updates, visit the emergency blog at santaclaritaemergency.com.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 on the FM dial and 1220 AM. This is SCVI Charter Schools Eye on the Valley's Homeschooling Answers. I'm your host, Matt Watson. You know, I'm a member of the iLEAD Schools Maker team. That is our curriculum team. I work with an amazing group of educators who help develop curriculum and work with and educate our classroom facilitators and support everything curriculum and instruction that goes on in our schools. And a big part of my job is leading VIP tours. Yeah, that's really exciting. I got my background music for that. Leading VIP tours of our campuses is a big part of what I do for our organization. And one of my favorite stops is always Empower Generations. This vibrant campus is always so inspiring, and my guest this morning, my next guest, is the leader that directs this incredible school. Malaka Donovan has worked in education for over 20 years now, teaching everything from preschool through high school, just about every grade level in between. She spent 5 years in Arizona as a master teacher for a kindergarten through 8th grade startup charter school, becoming a pioneer in project-based learning. During her time there, she received a local award for Teacher of the Week and was recommended for Disney's Teacher of the Year. Very exciting. She joined the iLEAD Schools team in 2010 as a classroom facilitator. And today, Malaka leads Empower Generations, iLEAD Center for Pregnant and Parenting Teens, where she's become a pioneer in the area of competency-based education. Good morning, Malaka. How are you?
Good morning, Matt. I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. You know, it's so good to hear your voice. I know how busy you stay on campus, and with our new social distancing, it's been a little while since we've had a chance to talk.
I know. I feel very isolated way over here, but it's good to hear your voice, too.
Well, that's good. So I mentioned in your intro, you're currently the director of Empower Generations, which, like our other schools, is a tuition-free public school. So pretty much anybody that's interested is allowed to attend, again, tuition-free. But your mission and your model is a little bit different at your campus than the rest of our iLEAD campuses. Can you kind of give a synopsis for our listeners about Empower Generations? What is your school all about? What's your mission and your goal?
Sure. So we provide education for pregnant and parenting teens. It's a safe place where they come and they can bring their babies to school. We believe that we want to look at them as a whole being, not just someone to come and get a high school diploma. So we really work on building confidence and learning how to parent in a healthy environment for both them and their babies. Sorry. No,
that's okay. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
That is, it's super exciting. You know, oftentimes when we talk about learners that are pregnant and parenting, we talk about, okay, where's the quickest, kind of path of least resistance to get your high school diploma, because we know how important that is. But that's not necessarily what your mission is. You talk about getting something that's complete, that meets their needs, and that's really kind of the thing that sets you guys apart, isn't it?
Yes, so we're not just about coming in and getting course credit, so it's in our name. We want to empower our families and our learners so that when they leave our campus, they graduate with a high school diploma. We know that they're set with tools to not only be successful community members, but also to be successful, happy parents, which, is challenging even as not young parents.
Right.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that they walk away with a set of their own personal tools to be successful and happy.
And that is so exciting. Your staff and you as well, you and your staff work really hard to help the learners grow academically, but also socially. That it always blows my mind how many social activities you guys have got going on campus. And you mentioned the emotional growth of not only your learners, but the ones that bring their babies to school with them. That is terrific. So can you talk a little bit about some of the programs and offerings that you have to help your learners develop in all aspects of life? Can you give us some of the specifics?
Sure. Well, one thing that's different about us is that we actually have a child development place for their babies to come to, so they don't have to find childcare or ask grandma or mom or dad to watch their little one. They get to bring them on campus. And in that program, we also help with child growth for their babies. So we have play, we do story times, we also integrate the parents with the babies, so we do some modeling. And then through advisory programs, they come together to talk about personal pregnancy stories or parenting struggles, and it's authentic because their babes are with them as this is going on. And then also we provide one-on-one coaching for them. We really personalize the education that they need, so they're feeling like there's a relationship and a connection happening with their advisors and their guides. And when we know that when people feel safe and honored, they're able to kind of do those harder things in life. So that's our number one foundational step, is that our parents need to feel safe and honored and heard, and then we can look at what academics are needed for them.
And Malaka, that I can tell our listeners that is really working. I say kids, they're young adults that are there on your campus. I think they do feel safe because they're taking risks constantly. You've got some of your students that are opening businesses. They're taking risks in life and stepping out and really looking to grow. This is a place where they're not just coming in and doing their work and going home. They seem truly happy there. In fact, I've been there at dismissal time, and I've seen how difficult it is to get some of them to leave campus and head off. So many of them stick around for some of the clubs and activities and things like that. Why is it important to you that these learners in particular feel so connected to their school?
Well, we're a community. We're a family. We're not just four walls or brick and mortar. We are a place where I tell our staff all the time, we need to celebrate anytime someone walks through our gates because they've chosen us for the day. And, connection and relationships is a human need, and to feel loved. And I think that the more we listen to our teens and really hear what it is that they need, especially when you're pregnant or parenting, they're going to start to trust, and then they're going to start to be able to realize their own potential and hear themselves and start to be successful. We really value what they have to offer. Like you said, we have businesses opening. We had a simple project where a parenting mom did a whole piece on pediatrics, and after she finished the piece, she realized what she didn't understand when she went to the doctor with her son. And then after the project, she was elated that she was able to ask questions when she went for her doctor visits. That's completely personalized. That's what she needed. And she was, she had a good relationship with her guides, that project was really tailored to her and her son and their experiences. So we want them to feel that we're hearing them, and this is for them. This is not necessarily for us. Show us what you can do, and and we'll grow and build off that.
Malaka, that's huge. I wanna stop and dig down a little deeper on some of the things that you just said. First of all, for our listeners, did you hear what Malaka mentioned? How often do we go to our doctor? Whether it's a routine checkup or we're sick, the doctor tells us what he thinks or she thinks, and we go home. But there are some times that we experience frustration. We don't think that we're getting the care that we need from our doctor. And then we'll sit down and we'll complain about our HMO, or maybe I need to get a second opinion. But so many of us, are kind of a little bit intimidated to maybe question what the doctor's doing. And here we've got this young parent that is, like the name of the school says, empowered to then get more involved in her own personal health care and that of her child because of what's going on your campus. Malaka, that is amazing. We're talking this morning with Malaka Donovan. She is the director of Empower Generations, iLEAD School Center for Pregnant and Parenting Teens. Malaka, you hit a key phrase there, and you just kind of glossed over it. You tell your staff that the learners that come in, they've chosen us for the day. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? What do you mean by they've chosen us for the day?
Right, so there's a lot of choices of school out there, and rightly so. Everybody needs something different. And then in addition, it's not easy to be a teen. I think, waking up in the morning and getting yourself to school is not always the easiest task. And then our learners a lot of the times have some adversity to overcome just by 9 o'clock. The whole world has already happened. So for them to have the grit and the determination to get themselves, whether it be walking, taking a bus, getting a ride, they're coming to us, and I just think that's a huge that's saying something that we need to acknowledge in them, that they're really serious about coming and then being part of that community too.
Well, and you and I, and you and I have talked about it several times in the past, you and I both have high schoolers, and it's tough enough to get them up in the morning and
Yes,
get them to school.
Sure.
But the high schoolers that you work with, not only do they have to get themselves up, oftentimes they've got a baby or a toddler that they have to get up and get fed and get dressed and maybe give a bath to. So they've got so many different things going on. And then there's also other things that compete. I know many of your learners, of course, have to work a full-time job, or they've got other responsibilities. It's not always easy for them to get on campus. So the fact that they have not only chosen because they want to be there, but then chosen because they've made some pretty great sacrifices to be there, you really then put that impetus on your staff to honor that and say, look, they've moved heaven and earth to be here. You need to give that same effort back to them, right?
Yes, and I think that's where the authentic learning also comes in. So when they do make that choice to come, a way to celebrate them is to say, hey, what's going on in your life right now? What is it that we want to tackle or look at or learn about? What's real? And when we look at those real opportunities for learning, the learning becomes an experience, and it's able to transform them into a new place instead of just completing, a test or worksheets and saying, hey, I completed this, what's next, what's my grade? When we're looking at pediatrics, because she has a doctor's appointment coming up, this is an authentic learning experience for her to walk away with more knowledge that's applicable in the real world and not just a letter grade to say, oh, I got a B on this test, what's next?
It's so exciting. As we're talking, Malaka, I just can't wait to get back on your campus once everything gets back to normal. And I know a lot of our listeners are probably thinking the same thing. So absolutely reach out and contact us if you'd like a tour of Empower Generations. My producer and our colleague, Sarah McDaniels, is reminding me, Malaka, that Empower Generations is also looking for career and technical education community partners to help our learners thrive in the job market once they do graduate. So I want to invite our community members, if this is a group of kids that you'd like to continue to inspire, I know so many of you are looking to exercise habit number 8, please reach out to us. You can reach me directly at homeschoolinganswers@ileadschools.org. Now, Malaka, let's shift, because the entire world has shifted now, right? Our kids can't come on campus anymore, and that's provided a significant challenge for our listeners, for me, myself, and pretty much all of us, and with the added layer of the different things that your school population deals with, that can be a struggle. So your campus is closed now. Are you still able to meet the needs of your learners? How are you working with them now?
So yeah, I mean, it's been a shift for everyone for sure. We are doing a lot of reaching out on every level. So we're emailing, calling, texting. We do have Zooms. We have had some of our staff drive to our learners' houses to deliver them some computers. Wow. We had another staff member postal mail some art supplies to some of our kids so they could do an art project. We do provide our free breakfast and lunch, so we're encouraging families to come that way to stay connected with them. And then it's just like a whole family effort. We're looking at it from all angles, every person who can reach who. And with that, we are getting some kids. It does help to start a little bit later in the day, we're finding out, because they're not just home on vacation. I think that there's other responsibilities that have fallen into their laps as a result of being home, and so we want to honor that in them also. But we've got some online workshops that are happening. We just put out a new design challenge, or we're going to be putting out a design challenge next Monday. We're working on doing some morning story time for our families. And we're open to any way that we're able to reach them. We're doing, we do Foodie Fridays and Workout Fridays so that it's not all academic when we connect with them. We're doing senior support groups where we're talking about what it is to be a senior right now and their ideas for those big milestone events that they were looking forward to. Yeah, so we're open to anything and trying it all.
So what are you hearing? Are you hearing back from your learners? Sounds like you're in contact with them. I'd imagine you would be. How's everybody doing? Is this shift difficult for your learners, or are they making those adjustments that they need to make and just continuing right on?
Difficult's a big word. I think it's just different. And so if we try different methods, then we meet that different on the other end. Sure, we could look at it as being difficult, but if we're excited to see them, I tell them, screen's on, I want to see your face, I want to see your smiles. And they'll say, Ms. Donovan, I'm not even up yet. I don't, just show me your face, just show me, that smile of yours. And I think that is just different for them, right? They're not used to being on a camera or on someone's computer. And so we're trying to acknowledge it as a good thing, and that we miss you, and come on. And as soon as that Zoom room opens and they forget the adults are there, they just want to chit chat with each other, then they start making jokes with one another, and we know that that's them missing their community.
That is so cool. But that's a huge part of the culture that you've created, not just since we've gone completely online, but months and even years prior. Making those deposits into emotional bank accounts, right? They feel safe doing that. They feel part of that family, and so they can connect with your staff and with each other and feel safe doing that. So now there's talk of the social distancing requirements continuing here for a while. So Malaka, if this pushes into next year, are you ready to continue with this format, or to welcome learners back? There's been talk on the news as well that we might be able to come back to school in the fall, but then with social distancing guidelines. Are you guys talking about how you might be able to do that and make those adjustments when we need to?
Sure. I mean, it's always a conversation, but being an independent study site, we can adjust to almost anything. And you had mentioned the community partnerships earlier. Because we are independent study, our kids can be out and about, doing real-life things, working with mentors in areas that they're interested in. So if we had an open time slot where kids could come and then be in the community, that would work just as beautifully for us.
Absolutely. So yeah, I know there's a lot of local businesses in the Santa Clarita, Acton, Agua Dulce, and up in the Antelope Valley area that look forward to reaching out and supporting others and giving a hand up. So important. So please get in contact with us. Malaka, do you have an email address or a website that folks could go to if they say, Malaka, you inspired me and I want to help support your program? Where can folks get in contact with you?
Sure. So you can Google Empower Generations. Also, you can go to empowergenerations.org. And then also you can email Malaka.Donovan at empowergenerations.org or reach out to any one of our staff members. Like I said, we're a family, so we all welcome partnerships, people, learners, families, visitors. You're all welcome.
And you will be inspired by not only the hard work, but the high-quality work that our learners do. Now, I want to shift a little bit, Malaka. You know this is very close to my heart. This year's seniors. I've got one of them at home, and I know you've got quite a few that we're looking forward to for end of senior year and all the fun activities that come with that. I don't want to push you, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but are you guys thinking about how we can honor the amazing accomplishments of your seniors this year through things like graduation and other events like that? Are you able to make any kind of preparations, or are we still waiting to see what happens in the upcoming weeks?
So we've talked about a drive-by graduation where they get to decorate their cars, and family members and staff can stand on the outskirts and cheer and honk and hold up signs for them. And so that's been an idea. They were kind of thinking about that because it's different.
Yeah.
We talked about a virtual prom. They thought I was crazy. But again, that's very different. I said, I'd even find a DJ for them. And then I just planted a little seed with my staff yesterday, maybe doing some honoring of our seniors through social media, highlighting 2 a week, and talking about different aspects of their high school experiences and then what they have planned for the future, and giving them some light via social media until the end of the year. So those are some of the ideas. We do meet once a week with our seniors because we want them to be part of that process of what it's going to look like, and also support them through that difference, because we all have a mindset about what it means to be a senior and those milestones. So it's going to take a little bit of time, I think, so that they can be part of the process too.
We'd love to help you highlight and really spotlight your seniors. Do you think any of them would be willing to join us here like you're doing this morning? Maybe call in and talk about what they've accomplished and what they're doing next?
That would be amazing. I would totally put that out there for them.
Malaka, if you can get us a list, we will do the reaching out, or if you think it's better for you to reach out, let's work after the show and figure out how we might do that. Now, speaking of their accomplishments, do you know how many seniors you've got graduating this year?
About 15 to 20.
Okay, about 15 to 20. And do you know what their plans are for next year? Have you got kids going on to college, kids that are going into the military, going into career?
So as of right now, we do have a learner that was accepted into Chico State.
Nice.
She's very, very excited. That was her number one choice. We have learners that will be attending Antelope Valley Community College. And then we have some that are already in the workforce that are excited to kind of work full-time. Mm-hmm. And so, we have a variety of things. We have some learners that are moving. They each have their own paths. It's not really one thing that's happening with our seniors.
Well, that is so exciting, Malaka. Just one last question for you, and then I know you've got lots of stuff to do. I'll let you go. If our listeners are thinking that Empower Generations might be the place for them, not all of your learners have children of their own, do they? It's a place that that kids that meet this model can go and learn. But you did say it's an independent study model, and so it's got some flexibility. If our listeners are thinking that might be the place for them or maybe someone that they know, how can they contact you for more information to enroll?
You can email me, malaka.donovan at empowergenerations.org. If you Google our school or go to our website, empowergenerations.org, our phone number is there. We still have our office manager answering calls, even though the site is closed. Our line is open, and you, of course, can reach out to any iLEAD member, and they can direct you to us.
Everything that you guys are doing always inspires me, and Malaka, I know we have to maintain our social distance, so I just want you to consider yourself hugged and hugged hard. I really appreciate you coming in this morning.
So good to hear your voice, Matt. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. We'll talk soon. We do have a couple of things that we need to take care of, but I want you to stick around. We will be back after this. Again, for more information on how COVID-19 is affecting our valley, please go to hometownstation.com and click on the red banner. There you're going to find tips on the economy, health updates, special business hours, and much, much more. You're listening to SCVI Charter Schools Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. I'm Matt Watson on your hometown station, KHTS.
Dutton Plumbing, it's Eric.
Son, it's Mother.
Mom, where have you been? I left 3 voicemail messages. We're supposed to be working on the Dutton Plumbing recruitment campaign.
Who answers their phone anymore? I text like everybody else, son.
You text?
Yes. Ernesto, my exotic dance class teacher, taught me how to text, among other things.
Wait, what? Exotic dance class? Mom? Anyway, we need more plumbers and techs to apply for work. Thanks to our $73 drain clearing, we just keep growing. We offer great pay, ongoing training, health insurance, 401k, even a batting cage for fun. We got to get the word out.
Well, why don't you let people apply for work by text? Make it fast and easy, son. Just like that college girl you used to date.
Mom?
Plumbers and techs. Now it's easy to apply for work at Dutton Plumbing. Just text the word MOM to 25000. You'll be asked some questions, and in less than 2 minutes, you'll be done. Again, text MOM to 25,000.
DuttonPlumbing.com. Save water and save money. SCV Water wants to help you find your fit and take advantage of conservation rebate programs that will help you save. Water your landscape more efficiently. Replace your lawn with water-wise plants. Conduct free in-home water surveys. Cover your swimming pool and more. Find the programs that fit your needs and start saving today. Visit conserve.yourscvwater.com to learn more.
That's conserve.yourscvwater.com.
The minute I open my door,
Debbie Morris has a problem.
I say, oh my gosh.
A really big problem.
The dog, the cat, my 3-year-old.
Debbie's house is a mess.
How can one family create this disaster?
Debbie needs Made for You.
I need help.
Professional, residential, and commercial cleaning, locally owned. You choose the schedule, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or even one-time seasonal cleaning. Call 255-2922. That's 255-2922. Made for You.
Made for You rescued me.
As the stay-at-home order continues through the month of April, Burger King is committed to following state and federal safety guidelines when it comes to serving you, the customer. Although in-restaurant dining has closed, pickup and delivery service continues. The current hours are 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can mobile order through the BK app for pickup, or you can use any of the delivery services like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates. Burger King on Lyons at the 5 Freeway, now with service at 2 drive-through windows.
At iLEAD Agua Dulce, we believe the most important thing a child can learn in school is who they are. Life's real tests are never standardized, which is why we've developed an individual-based curriculum that values exploration, cooperation, and creativity. As our learners grow, so do we. Our tuition-free charter school is currently enrolling grades TK through 7th and adding 8th grade in 2020. Your young learner will be immersed in a unique environment where possibility and self-discovery are at the core of every experience. The Agua Dulce campus features beautiful indoor and outdoor spaces for hands-on inspiration, including a robotics lab, a garden bed, a greenhouse, and a technology-based exploratorium. iLEAD Agua Dulce is conveniently located on the east side of the Santa Clarita Valley, just off the 14 freeway. Check out our homeschool options too. To schedule a campus tour or learn more about our programs, visit iLEADAguadulce.org. We're enrolling now. iLEAD Schools. Free to think, inspired to lead.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS, your hometown station, 98.1 FM and 1220 on the AM side. This is Matt Watson, and you're listening to Eye on the Valley, Homeschooling Answers. Well, as I mentioned in the intro, how excited I was. Boy, my guest did not disappoint. Janine Prado from the city's recreation and activities. I don't remember her exact name. I should probably look it up here, right? She's the Director of Recreation and Community Services for our city, doing all different kinds of things all over our city. And she and her team are now shifting on the fly to make sure that our parks and hiking trails and things can stay open so that we can still get outside and enjoy the springtime here while maintaining our social distancing. So I do want to ask you, what things are you planning this weekend? What have you got going on? I know a lot of people that are planning on using the time to maybe clean up or clean out. I want to encourage you. You know, a lot of us have enjoyed the time. You know, we may find that we have a little bit extra time because maybe we're not working as much and the kids aren't involved in all the different activities that they normally are. You know, we're not going to hockey practice or softball games and things like that, and we're certainly not gathering at family reunions like we used to. But I want to encourage you. We've gotten past the time, you know, you've binged watched, you've gone back and watched Game of Thrones, all the seasons again, and you've caught up on a lot of the movies that you've been missing. So I want to encourage you to start to stretch. Now, let's get off the couch and be a little bit more productive. Have you taken a look at your closet lately? How's your closet doing? Does that need cleaning out? I know one of the things that's needed desperately at my house is a good pantry cleaning. So use this time, get productive, and if you're someone that's thinking, nah, we're in good shape, Matt, we're not as messy as you guys are around your house. Fantastic. Have you picked a new book that you're going to be reading, or maybe you're going to get outside and do some gardening? Now is the time of year, right? You trim those rose bushes, maybe plant a few new flowers. My son and I actually picked up an indoor gardening kit. I think it's called Odd Vegetables. We're going to be growing some purple carrots and some other weird veggies that he was giggling at, and so we decided to plant those. We're going to get to work on those. Get your kids involved in the garden. You know, oftentimes we get outside in the backyard as a way to kind of have some solace, but it's a great opportunity for you to connect with your kids. Get your kids out there. If you've got littles, talk to them about some of those important curricular connections, like the difference between and why a plant needs a stem and a seed and a flower and a root and what all the different parts are. And if you've got older kids, just get them out there, get them used to gardening and talk to them about maybe what they would like to plant. And if you're planting vegetables, let your kids pick the vegetables, something that they'd be willing to eat. You know, it's not often, especially here living in Southern California, that we get to follow what we eat from seed to plate, you know, from source to in our bellies. So get your kids involved. Get out and do some gardening this weekend. If that's not your thing, maybe you get involved with your kids, bring them into the kitchen with you, or better yet, we've been talking about those 7 habits. Let's talk win-win. How about if you've got older kids, and they don't even have to be much older. If your kids are, you know, maybe 9, 10 years old or older, have your kids plan and cook one or more of the meals this weekend. In fact, tell the kids, you know what? Tonight I'm cooking dinner, but at 8 o'clock tonight I'm punching out. The weekend is on you guys. So start figuring out what you're going to cook, and you're planning breakfast, lunch, and dinner for Saturday and Sunday. Put it on them. Get them involved in that type of project. You know, my son cooked for me last night and made some amazing teriyaki steak with rice and put an egg right on top there. Oh, it was so delicious. My mouth was watering just thinking about it now. And it was funny. He looked over at me and said, okay, so it says that there's 8 servings of rice in here, and so how much do I have to cook? And right away, you know, I'm good at math, and it just popped into my brain the answer, and I turned and I opened my mouth and I stopped myself. Don't you dare do that, right? Those are his fractions to work out, so I made him work on it. Take some time to get outside, stretch your legs a little bit, maybe go take the family on a bike ride, enjoy those parks that Janine talked about, okay? And I really want to not just encourage you, I want to admonish you. Think about those folks that don't have those connections. You know, I talk a lot about my brother, and my brother's got a family of 6 that he's quarantined with now, and they're having so much fun. They have rediscovered Yahtzee, and they're doing like chopped challenges for dinner, which is really, really exciting. But, you know, I hung up the phone with my brother and I called my mom, and it's just mom and dad at home, and it's just the 2 of them. Those of you that listen on a regular basis know that mom retired recently, and she's really missing that social contact. And I said, Mom, you're on Facebook. Reach out to your friends. And she says, that's not the way I connect with my friends. And I said, okay, what about the phone? She says, yeah, I just want to have a glass of wine with my best friend. You know, think about who is it that really is isolated at this time. Might not be a family member. Might be a distant relative, maybe in another state, maybe an old family friend or that neighbor that you haven't really taken the time to get to know yet. I really want to again, go further than encouraging. Find out who it is that really needs to hear from you and reach out, okay? Be somebody's light this weekend, and we'll check back in with you Monday and see how you did. I also want to thank my guest, Malaka Donovan. The stuff that she's doing at Empower Generations is so exciting. And I want to remind you again, if that's something that you're interested in, look her up on the website, empowergenerations.org. You know, we've got quite a few schools in and around this area. SCVI, of course, our flagship school is over on the west side of the valley. That's iLEADSantaClarita.org. And if you're on the east side of the valley and in the Newhall, Canyon Country area, or a little bit further north, check out iLEADonline.org or iLEADAguadulce.org. And anywhere in Southern California that you're at, you can check out iLEADonline.org. We've got virtual tours coming up, things like that. Well, that is a wrap for the week. We do appreciate you joining us. Again, I want to thank our guests, Janine Prado and Malaka Donovan. I want to ask you to join us again Monday at 9 a.m. Next week, we've got an exciting week where we'll be joined by Dawn Evenson, the CEO of iLEAD California Schools, Mayor Cameron Smythe, a whole list of VIP guests that are going to be coming in. You are listening to SCVI Charter Schools Eye on the Valley. This is Homeschooling Answers with your host, Matt Watson, and this is your hometown station, KHTS.